Hello folks, Wager Detective here, 9:23 in the morning, November 19th, 2025. We're going to talk about this Miami, Ohio game versus Buffalo. As we see last year, Miami did beat Buffalo 23-10. Okay. They're 11-3 at home all time versus Buffalo, and they're 6-6 on the road. If we look at what they've done recently against Buffalo, they're alternating wins and losses over their last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games. So win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, and then the win last year. If we look at what they do in Buffalo, they are 0-3, 1-3, 1-4. They're 1-5 in their last 6 at Buffalo. Okay, dating back to this 24-27 game here. So 51 there, 62 there, 59 in Buffalo, 93 in Buffalo, 52 in Buffalo, 44 in Buffalo. And let's see what the line is set at tonight. I want to see where we're at here as far as what's going on. Okay, no, NCAA football. We do have this line at 39.5. Wow. And now Buffalo is plus 2.5. So I don't know what's going on there. I don't know if it's a weather related thing, if players are injured for Buffalo. I think 2.5 we might have value, but let's get into the video here. We know what they're doing here. They're splitting wins and losses against Buffalo, and they're 1-5 in their last 6 at Buffalo. So let's take a look at the Miami Redhawks. As we look here, okay, they're at 398 wins on the, in their franchise, in their college history, with 311 losses. We look at what they've done this year. Okay, they're 5-5, so they can only afford one more loss, Miami, Ohio, to stay bowl eligible. 115th SOS in the nation. Chuck Martin, been there for a very long time. 70-72 in his time at Miami. So he's been there for 12 years, and he's 5-5 this year. 70-72 in his career at Miami, Ohio. He is 2-4 in bowl games. His last bowl game was in 2024, where he won. So he's 2-2 in his last 4 bowl games. Not bad. He's got some experience there, and we all know about Chuck Martin. Solid coach. His team always comes prepared. Offensively, passing the ball, they pass the ball about 26 times a game. They rush the ball about 36. DeQuan Finn, 9 touchdowns, 6 interceptions on the year. He didn't play last week or one of these games recently. I had Miami, Ohio, and they played the Henry Hessen, and he just he couldn't get anything done in that game that they played. We look at what they do offensively. On the ground, DeQuan Finn, 4 touchdowns. Deshaunte Jones, 4 touchdowns, and a couple guys, or one guy with a couple, Jordan Brunson. We look at receiving. We see Cameron Perry here leads the conference, the MAC, in yards per reception with 25 yards per reception. And he's got 4 touchdowns receiving on the year. Brian Shane's got 2, and then Kenny Tracy's got 2. So that's going to be DeQuan Finn's safety blankets there. They do have 23 touchdowns from scrimmage. But again, 12 in the air and 11 on the ground. So they're a balanced attack. If we look at what they're doing on the air, they got 25.5 sacks, 12 interceptions, pretty solid there, 4 fumble recoveries, 5 forced fumbles. If we look at kick return, punting return, we see Jermaine Agee has 1 punt return for a touchdown, top of the leaderboard in the conference there. And then kicking wise, Dom Dizobin, 15-17 on field goal attempts, 88.2% there. And then Pierce Stanton, 42 yards per punt for them there. So pretty solid team, basic, nothing great, nothing really just stands out there. I want to take a look at their game logs. Okay, they have 12 touchdowns on the year, but they forced 16 touchdowns for their opponents. They had 3. Their defense had 3 turnovers last game against Toledo, but it really didn't matter. They lost 3-24. They had 3 turnovers themselves. So 10 interceptions on the year. They got to clean that up there. But they forced 12 interceptions from their opponents, where they've had numerous games where they've had 2 interceptions against teams, but not the toughest schedule. They have lost 2 in a row. Now they're going on the road to play Buffalo. I'm going to take a look at their splits here. What do they do on the road? 4-2 against the MAC. They're passing the ball for 188 yards a game against the MAC, and then they're rushing for 161. Total offense in the MAC games this year, 351 yards a game, and then they're getting their first downs. They're getting 8.8 through about 9 passing and 9 rushing a game. So they're very well balanced as far as offensively what they do. Defensive splits against the MAC this year, they're giving up 194 yards per game, and they're giving up 109 rushing, so for 304. So they got 304 against them, and then offensively, they have 351 yards. So they're about 47 yards plus in total yards per game. What do they give up as far as the pass and the rush? They're giving up the passing first down by roughly 2 more per game than they are the rush as far as defense against the MAC. Let's take a look and see who they're playing this week. Okay. Okay, they're going to be at Buffalo. And we look at Buffalo, see what they've done, led by Pete Lembo. Let's see what Pete has done over there. That's a pretty good overall career, 47-38. He's coming over from Ball State, where he was there from 2011, 2015. He had a couple good years there in 2012 and 2013. But you could see from his time at Ball State to Buffalo about a 9-year gap in head coaching jobs. So, but he led Buffalo. He came back in that first year and had a 9-4 record. Now he's 5-5, and he's 47-38 overall, and he's 14-9 at Buffalo. Okay, he's 1-2 in bowl games. He won his bowl game last year in the Bahamas Bowl. Okay, let me take a look at Buffalo. Okay, they pass the ball 33 times a game, 33.5 times a game, and they rush the ball 35 times a game. So they're very well balanced. More balanced than Miami. Miami's a little bit more pass happy than rush. Their play calling is pass, run, pass, run, pass, run. And they're looking pretty solid. They're led by Taquan Robertson, 13 touchdown passes, 9 interceptions. So he's leading the conference in throwing interceptions. That's not a good sign. On the ground, they got a couple guys that could get in on the ground. A.J. Henderson's got 5 touchdowns. James McNeil's got 2. Victor Snow's got 2 on the ground. Taquan Robertson's got 2. So they got a bunch of guys that can get on the ground. And we look at receiving. Victor Snow, 7 receiving touchdowns. Nick McMillan, 3. So 15 and 13 as far as how they get in the end zone. A couple more touchdowns through the year. Defense and fumbles. This is the guy you're going to want to look out for. Look at this guy, Khalil Murdoch. Leads the conference in assists as far as tackles with 73. He's got 4.5 sacks, and he leads the conference in forced fumbles with 6, which is amazing. That's a lot. And if we look at this guy, take a deep look into Khalil Murdoch. I don't know if he's related to Khalil Mack, who also went to Buffalo, but look at this. Has 73 tackles, and he's got a touchdown interception in his career. But look at this. He's led the conference the last 3 years in forced fumbles. In his career, he's got 17 forced fumbles, and he's putting on another fantastic defensive performance here this year, leading the conference again. So that's a guy that is a disruptor. You know, he could be a game changer. Keep an eye on him. We already know that Miami likes to turn the ball over, but they throw interceptions. But he is a guy that you're going to want to keep an eye on. All right, they got 68 tackles for loss, 32 sacks. Wow. And 6 fumble recoveries and 10 forced fumbles. So they can play defense. we do want to take into consideration that they are 135th in strength of schedule, SOS. So keep that in mind as we look on here. And then, but Khalil Murdoch is fabulous at causing disruption. He's got 4.5 sacks, and you look at this other guy here, Junior Poyser. He's got 5.5 sacks on the year. Another guy that's got a forced fumble as well. So a couple guys on defense that, take a look at this guy, Junior Poyser. My phone can just hurry up here. It's running a little slow here for me. All right, maybe we won't look at Jordan Poyser. Take a look at the schedule and results for this team. Why is my phone? Oh man, great. I can't believe I'm going to do this right now. Optimize here. Sorry for this little delay. Phone is just acted a little slow. Clear a little cache here. Trying to get back to this video. Okay. All right, we look at them. Schedule for Buffalo. What have they done this year? Take a look at the game logs. They got 18 turnovers in the year. You look in the last 3 weeks, they've had 5 turnovers in 2 of those 3 games, for an average of a total of about 11 turnovers in their last 3 games alone. They're coming off the road loss at Central Michigan, 18 turnovers, and they only forced 12. So both teams are in the minus as far as their plus minus on turnovers. They're going to have to clean that up for sure. And again, what they do on the ground, Buffalo, they got 15 passing touchdowns and 13 rushing. So they're very, very balanced. Both teams are balanced. They can get in through the air and on the ground. Buffalo, to me, has the better defense as far as tackles for loss and sacks. And again, they haven't played the toughest schedule, but they've given up 41-65 over the last 3 weeks. So that's about 22 points a game, and they're scoring as well. 38, 40, 47, 57, 63. They're scoring about 20 points a game. So I want to take a look at their splits here, see what they do, Buffalo. Again, my phone's just running a little slow here. I don't know why. It just wants to give me a problem right now. Let's go back over here. I might have to do this video over again. If not, guys, just bear with me with this. Okay, take a look at their splits. Look at this, man. Why is my phone just running? Okay, here we go. Okay, so offensively against the MAC, they are averaging 276 passing yards per game, and they're rushing for 115. About 116 yards per game there. Defensively, they're giving up 109 passing and 146 yards per game. So if we look at that, they're plus 276 on the passing. So they're against the MAC, I mean, and at home. Let's take a look here. It's the MAC and then home. I mean, they look to have the advantage on both sides of the ball here. 370 yards per game at home. They're 391 yards on offense, total offense a game against the MAC, and they're giving up 337 yards a game. So they have a healthy advantage in a couple of those statistical categories. I mean, both teams, I don't know why that total is so low. But if I was to lean aside here, I would have to make the call Buffalo plus the points, plus 2.5. I mean, I might redo this video, I don't know. But as we said here, Buffalo is getting 2.5 here at home in this MAC game tonight, where I think it's pretty solid value for a team that is at home. Both teams SOS not good, and I don't even know if I trust either one of these quarterbacks. So you could get turnovers, they could come out and shine. I think it's going to be a combination of both. To be honest with you, I think both teams are going to come out and score. I don't know why that total is so low. I would lean over there. Historically, as we said before, I mean, these guys are definitely getting over that total in their meetings. I mean, last year, no, but 44, 63, 52, 54, 93, 38, 59 in Buffalo, 62 in Buffalo, 51 in Buffalo, 30 in Buffalo. I mean, something tells me that maybe you want to kind of take a look at who's playing and who's not. You might have guys that are out because the line this morning was 1.5, and now it's jumped a whole point towards Miami, Ohio. So, but my call is going to be Buffalo, based on the history, based on the metrics, based on that kid Khalil, that defensive player for Buffalo. Both teams have a good field goal kicker, but I think Buffalo's is a little bit better. I just think at home, I think the 2.5, barring any injury or anything that's unheard that we haven't seen yet, that's going to be Wager Detective's call. Buffalo plus 2.5. And again, same thing. Is the weather the reason why that game is only 39.5? Because if it is weather related, I still think the game could get over. I think both teams could run on one another. There's no question about it. So, and then you factor in turnovers. They could flip field position real quick. You're already, in the other person's territory. I like the over. Again, this is my initial look at this early in the day. Keep an eye posted on my post to see if there's any new developments in this game. This is Wager Detective. He's going to call Buffalo plus 2.5 against Miami, Ohio tonight. This is November 19th, 2025. Wager Detective talking to you. I'll talk to you soon.